This is some sick stuff. This was released yesterday, the same day as the Epstein drop, so it didn't get a lot of coverage, but it probably will soon. Italy probes Sarajevo sniper safaris. What were they and who was involved? According to a legal complaint, participants would be flown from Italy to Bosnia in the 1990s, where they would pay to fire upon citizens in that besieged city. This is by Edna Mohammed. Italy's public prosecutor's office has opened an investigation into claims that Italians traveled on weekend sniper safaris to Sarajevo to shoot at citizens during the Bosnia Serb army's siege on the city that killed more than 11,000 people between 1992 and 1996. The alleged safaris, a grotesque reference to expeditions to hunt or observe wild animals, took place as the Bosnia Serb force besieged the city in what became the longest siege on a city in modern European history. Milan's investigation, headed by a prosecutor, Alessandro Gobis, which launched after a journalist and novelist, Ezio Gavazzeni, in collaboration with lawyers Nicola Brigida and former judge Guido Salvini, filed a legal complaint of murder aggravated by cruelty and despicable motives against alleged groups of Italians traveling to Sarajevo to join the trips. According to the Italian media, investigators hope to track down people who participated in the alleged safaris, in addition to 5 men who have already been identified. Gavazzeni's suit. Gavazzeni, who turned all of his evidence over to prosecutors, told the Italian news outlet La Repubblica on Tuesday that his suit, quote, exposes a part of society that hides its truth under the carpet, end quote. Quote, because we're talking about wealthy people with reputations, entrepreneurs, who during the siege of Sarajevo paid to be able to kill defenseless civilians, he added. What we know about the alleged sniper safaris. So between 1992 and 1996, Italian citizens and others who were mainly gun enthusiasts from all over the world, apparently, would gather in Trieste, northwestern Italy, on the border with former Yugoslavia on Fridays for a weekend of hunting. Hunting! It remains unclear who arranged the trips for the alleged groups to take. Participants would then allegedly be flown to the Yugoslav-Serbian Aviogenics airline to the hills surrounding Sarajevo, where they would pay Bosnian Serb militias loyal to President Radovan Karadzic, who was later convicted of genocide and crimes against humanity by the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia in 2016 and sentenced to life in prison after a 2019 appeal to shoot at citizens. According to La Repubblica, these tourists paid up to 100,000 euros or $116,000 American, adjusted for current inflation rates and currency change, as the euro was not introduced until 1999, to join trips to Sarajevo to commit killings. Gavazzeni claims that participants would be given a price list for the type of kill that foreigners would pay for, who they wanted to target, and with children costing the most, then men, then women, and elderly people who could be killed free of charge. Don't give Trump any ideas. A participant left Trieste for the manhunt, and then he returned and continued his life as usual, respectable in everyone's eyes, Gavazzeni said. People with a passion for weapons, to indulge, who prefer to go to bed with a rifle, with money at their disposal and the right contacts of facilitators between Italy and Serbia. It's the indifference of evil, becoming God and remaining unpunished, he added. Yeah, we know somebody like that here. Gavazzeni's 17-page filing includes the testimony of Edin Subasic, a Bosnian military intelligence officer, who claims he and some colleagues informed Italy's military intelligence agency, SISMI, about reports of Italians who would fly from Trieste to Sarajevo to take part in early 1994. In his testimony, he stated the Italian intelligence service told him it had put a stop to the trips a few months later. The SISMI said that it had discovered the departure points in Trieste and had interrupted the operation. Another witness cited in the filing gave Gavazzeni details of 3 men who are now being investigated, who came from Turin, Milan, and Trieste. According to a SISMI report cited in a lawsuit, the man from Milan, who took part in the shootings in 1993, was the owner of a private plastic surgery clinic. Former Sarajevo Mayor Benjamin Carrick also sent a case file to the Milan prosecutor's office on these rich foreigners engaged in inhumane activities, Italian news agency ANSA reported. Who knew about these safaris? Serbia has denied any involvement in the killings, but investigators believe that Serbian intelligence services were aware of the tourist trips. According to the testimony from Subasic, the Bosnian military intelligence officer, who was expected to be one of the first people summoned by the prosecutor's office, the way that the trips were organized with the airline carrier pointed to the Serbian State Security Service being behind it all, Answer reported. While Simsi was informed about the first trip, the official told La Repubblica that it was never discussed again between the Bosnian and Italian spy agencies. The Bosnian consul in Milan, Demrukic, told La Repubblica on Tuesday that his government was working in full cooperation in the investigation. We are eager to uncover the truth of such a cruel affair and settle accounts with the past. I have some information that I will pass on to the investigators, Demrukic added. What do survivors of Sarajevo say? Demzel Hadzik, 42, who grew up in Sarajevo in the 90s, was 9 when the siege began, is the founder of the Sniper Alley Project, which archives photographs taken during the siege. He told Al Jazeera that findings came as no surprise to him, as the weekends were always especially dangerous in Sarajevo at the time. Hadzik said there were always information circulating about people from outside coming to shoot at us. It was a well-known fact, but unfortunately it means nothing when the murder snipers who were shooting at us for 4 years are at large and we see that our Bosnian prosecutor's office is doing nothing about it. I just hope that this case from Italy won't disappear from our media space and then we will actually have some positive results, he said. My brother was killed by a Serb sniper while he was playing tennis in our neighborhood. We will never know if it was one of those who paid to do so, he said. Did people from other countries also participate? It is believed that citizens of multiple countries took part. In 2022, Bosnian film director Miran Zupanic's documentary, Sarajevo Safari, investigated wealthy foreigners who have participated, including some from the United States and Russia. One notable example was Russian nationalist writer and political Eduard Limonev, who was filmed during a documentary on Bosnian war by Pavel Pawlikowski in 1992, shooting a machine gun toward the city of Sarajevo while personally accompanied by Karadzic. Moreover, in 2007, former U.S. Marine John Jordan testified to the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia that tourist shooters had come to Sarajevo. It was clearly obvious that the person being led by men who were familiar with the ground, was completely unfamiliar with the ground, and his manners of dress and the weapons they carried led me to believe that they were tourist shooters, Jordan told the court. This is going to be a developing story, and this case moves forward. Pay attention, folks. This is sick. This is sick. This isn't surprising, but this is sick. And don't give Trump any fucking ideas.